My name is Jennifer, I'm 34. And today I opened my kitchen door to find my sister feeding my daughter breakfast while wearing my favorite apron. The one with the yellow flowers. My husband Mark sat at the table reading the newspaper like this was totally normal. Like my sister Lisa didn't live across town with her own house. My daughter Sophie looked up and smiled. Auntie Lisa makes better pancakes than you, Mommy. Those words hurt more than you'd think. Tell me where you're watching from right now because what happens next will make your jaw drop. I promise you've never heard anything like this before. Lisa turned around with the pan still in her hand. Oh good, you're awake. Mark needed help with the kids this morning since you were sleeping in. Sleeping in. I looked at the clock. It was 6:30 in the morning. I wake up at 6:30 every single day. Mark wouldn't look at me. He just kept staring at his newspaper like the words were super interesting. Lisa, why are you here? I asked. My voice was shaking a little bit. She smiled that sweet smile she always uses when she wants something. Mark called me last night. He said you've been really tired lately and needed a break. So I came over early to help. Coffee maker beeped. Lisa poured a cup and handed it to Mark, not me. She knew exactly how he liked it. 2 sugars, a little bit of cream. That's when I knew something was very wrong. I need to talk to you, I told Mark. He finally looked up from his newspaper. Can it wait? I have a big meeting today. No, it can't wait. Lisa touched his shoulder softly. I'll take Sophie to school. You two talk. She picked up my daughter's backpack, the one I packed last night with her favorite snacks. The one with the little notes I always write and hide in the front pocket. Wait, I said. But Sophie was already running to the door holding Lisa's hand. Bye, Mommy. Auntie Lisa said we can get ice cream after school. The door closed behind them. The house felt too quiet. Mark stood up and walked to the sink. His back was facing me. Jennifer, we need to talk about us. My heart started beating really fast. What about us? He turned around slowly. I'm not happy anymore. We barely talk. You're always working or tired. The kids hardly see you. That's not fair, I said. I work hard so we can pay our bills. So Sophie and Jake can have nice things. He shook his head. Lisa said you'd say that. Lisa said. What does Lisa have to do with our marriage? Everything went cold inside me. Mark, what's going on? He took a deep breath. Lisa and I have been talking a lot lately. She understands me. She listens when I have problems. She makes me feel important again. The words felt like ice water pouring over my head. Are you saying what I think you're saying? He nodded. I want a divorce, Jennifer. And Lisa and I. We want to be together. I sat down hard on a kitchen chair. My own sister. My younger sister who I helped raise after Dad left. The sister I let live with us for 6 months when she lost her job last year. How long? I whispered. He looked down. 4 months. 4 whole months while I was cooking dinner and helping with homework and working extra hours to save money for our family vacation. 4 months of lies. I stood up and walked to the window. Outside, our neighbor was watering his flowers like it was just a normal Tuesday morning. Did the kids know? Yes. Mark was quiet for too long. Jake thinks Lisa is just visiting a lot. But Sophie? She asked me last week if Lisa was going to be her new mommy. My chest hurt so bad I could barely breathe. I turned around to look at him. You told our 7-year-old daughter that her aunt might become her new mother? Mark's face got red. She asked a question. I answered honestly. Honestly. I laughed but nothing was funny. Honest would have been telling me 4 months ago that you had feelings for my sister. Honest would have been going to marriage help instead of sneaking around behind my back. He crossed his arms. You're making this harder than it needs to be. I grabbed my car keys from the hook by the door. I'm going to my mom's house. We'll talk later when I can think straight. Don't bother, Mark said. Your mom already knows. Lisa told her last week. The whole family knows. They think it's better this way. Better for who? For you and Lisa. He wouldn't answer. I walked out of my own house and got in my car. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely hold the steering wheel. My mom's house was 20 minutes away. Those were the longest 20 minutes of my whole life. I kept thinking about all the times Lisa came over for dinner. All the time she offered to babysit. All the time she said she just wanted to spend time with family. She was spending time with my husband. Mom opened the door before I could even knock. Her face told me everything. You knew, I said. Sweetheart, come inside. We need to talk about this calmly. I walked past her into the living room. My brother Tom was sitting on the couch. My dad was there too, which was weird because he never visits. This is a setup, I said. An intervention. Tom stood up. Jenny, we're worried about you. Nobody's worried about me. You're all worried about making this easier for Lisa and Mark. Dad cleared his throat. Your sister is pregnant. The room started spinning. Pregnant? How far along? 3 months, Mom said softly. They didn't want to tell you until they were sure everything was okay with the baby. I sat down hard on Mom's old rocking chair. The same chair she used to rock me in when I was little and had bad dreams. This felt like the worst dream ever. So let me understand this, I said slowly. My husband cheated on me with my sister. My sister is having my husband's baby. And my whole family knew about it and nobody told me. We wanted to tell you at the right time, Tom said. There's no right time for this. Shouted. My voice echoed in the quiet room. Mom came over and tried to hug me, but I moved away. Lisa made a mistake, Mom said. But Mark wasn't happy. Sometimes these things just happen. These things don't just happen. People make choices. They chose to lie. They chose to sneak around. They chose to hurt me. Dad stood up. Jennifer, you need to think about what's best for the children. They need stability. Fighting about this will only hurt Sophie and Jake. I looked at my dad. The man who left us when I was 12. The man who missed my high school graduation and my wedding. Now he was giving me advice about children. What's best for my children is having a mother who stands up for herself, I said. Not a mother who pretends everything is fine when her whole world is falling apart. Lisa walked in from the kitchen. I didn't know she was here. She was wearing one of those pretty dresses that pregnant women wear. Her hand rested on her belly. Jenny, I'm so sorry. I never meant to hurt you. You slept with my husband, Lisa. How did you think that would make me feel? She started crying. I know it was wrong. But Mark and we fell in love. We tried to fight it, but we couldn't. I stood up and walked toward the door. Where are you going? Mask. Anywhere but here. I drove around for 3 hours. I didn't know where to go. Our house wasn't mine anymore. My family wasn't on my side. I finally stopped at a park and just sat on a bench watching kids play on the swings. A little girl with pigtails reminded me of Sophie. My phone rang 15 times, but I didn't answer. Finally I went home. Mark's car was gone. There was a note on the kitchen table. Took the kids to Lisa's house for dinner. We need to talk about living arrangements. The lawyer's number is on the fridge. The lawyer's number. He already called a lawyer. I walked upstairs to our bedroom. Half of Mark's clothes were gone from the closet. His toothbrush was missing from the bathroom. He was already moving out. Already moving on. Already building a new life with my sister. I lay down on the bed and cried until I couldn't cry anymore. The next morning I woke up to my phone ringing. It was my boss, Mr. Peterson. Jennifer, we need you to come to the office today. There's been a situation. What kind of situation? Just come in as soon as you can, please. I got dressed and drove to work. My head hurt from crying. My eyes were red and puffy. When I walked into the office, everyone got really quiet. Mr. Peterson was waiting at my desk with a woman from Human Resources. Can we talk in the conference room? He asked. We all walked into the small room at the end of the hall. Jennifer, the woman said. Her name was Mrs. Chen. We received a complaint about your work performance. What? From who? She opened a folder. Multiple people have reported that you've been distracted, missing deadlines, and creating a difficult environment. That's not true. I've been here for 6 years. I've never missed a deadline. Mrs. Chen showed me papers with complaints. They were all signed by coworkers. But the handwriting looked the same on all of them. Mr. Peterson looked uncomfortable. Jennifer, there's also the matter of the Wilson account. The Wilson account is fine. I just sent them the final report yesterday. He shook his head. They called this morning. They said you never sent the report. They're very upset and want to work with someone else. Felt sick. I sent that report. I know I did. Let me check my computer. Mrs. Chen stood up. We've already checked your computer. The report was never sent. The draft was deleted yesterday afternoon. Someone deleted my work. This doesn't make sense. I pulled out my phone and checked my sent emails. The Wilson report was right there. Sent yesterday at 4:15 p.m. See? It's right here. Mr. Peterson looked at my phone, then at Mrs. Chen. We need to investigate this further. But for now, Jennifer, we think it's best if you take some time off. Paid leave while we sort this out. Time off. This is my job. I need to work. I'm sorry, he said. But it's already decided. I grabbed my purse and walked out. In the parking lot, I saw Lisa's car. She was sitting inside talking on her phone. When she saw me, she hung up quickly and drove away. She did this. Somehow, my sister got me fired. I sat in my car and screamed. Just screamed as loud as I could until my throat hurt. Then I drove home. Mark was there packing more boxes. The kids are staying with Lisa for a few days, he said without looking at me. Until we figure out the custody arrangement. Custody arrangement. They're my children. He finally looked at me. Jenny, be realistic. You just lost your job. You're emotionally unstable right now. Lisa has a stable home. She can take care of them while we work things out. My sister isn't taking my children. Mark closed the box he was packing. The judge will decide what's best for Sophie and Jake. Not you. Not me. A judge. 3 weeks later, I sat in a courtroom wearing my only nice dress. Mark had a fancy lawyer in an expensive suit. I had a free lawyer from Legal Aid who looked about 12 years old. The judge was an older woman with gray hair and glasses. She read through all the papers while we waited. Ms. Jennifer Thompson, she said. Can you tell me about your current employment situation? I don't have a job right now, Your Honor. But I'm looking. I have applications out to 5 different companies. And where are you currently living? With a friend. My husband kept our house. The judge wrote something down. And Mr. Mark Thompson, you're requesting primary custody of both children. Yes, Your Honor, his lawyer said. Mr. Thompson has a stable home, stable income, and family support. His fiancée Lisa is wonderful with the children. They've already adjusted to living with her. Fiancé, I whispered. They're already engaged. My lawyer touched my arm. Let the judge talk. The judge looked at more papers. It says here that both children have expressed a preference to live primarily with their father and Ms. Lisa Thompson. Sophie and Jake want to live with Lisa. My heart broke into a million pieces. Your Honor, I said. My lawyer tried to stop me, but I kept talking. My sister stole my husband. She got me fired from my job. Now she's taking my kids. This isn't fair. The judge took off her glasses. Ms. Thompson, I understand you're upset. But this court makes decisions based on what's best for the children, not what feels fair to the adults. I'm their mother. And you'll still be their mother, the judge said. But right now, Mr. Thompson can provide a more stable environment. I'm granting primary custody to the father. You'll have visitation every other weekend and Wednesday evenings. The gavel came down hard. Court dismissed. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't think. My lawyer was talking, but I couldn't hear the words. Everything sounded like I was underwater. Outside the courthouse, Lisa was waiting with Sophie and Jake. When Sophie saw me, she ran over. Mummy, did you tell the judge we can live with you? I knelt down and hugged her tight. No, baby. You're going to live with Daddy and Auntie Lisa. But I'll see you all the time. Every other weekend and on Wednesdays. Sophie's face fell. But I want to live with you all the time. I kissed her forehead. I know, sweetheart. But this is what the judge decided. Jake walked over slowly. He was only 5 and didn't really understand what was happening. Are you sad, Mommy? A little bit, buddy. But I'll be okay. Lisa came over and took their hands. Come on, kids. Let's go get ice cream. Sophie looked back at me as they walked away. I stood there in the parking lot until their car disappeared. Then I sat down on the curb and cried. A woman walked by and asked if I was okay. I just nodded. But I wasn't okay. Nothing was okay. I spent the next 2 months living in my friend Karen's spare bedroom. Every day felt the same. Wake up, look for jobs, get rejected, cry, sleep. My savings account was almost empty. I couldn't afford a lawyer to fight for my kids. Couldn't afford my own apartment. Could barely afford food. One Wednesday when I picked up Sophie and Jake for my visit time, Sophie hugged Lisa goodbye and said, "Love you, Mom." I pretended I didn't hear it. We went to the park like always. Jake played on the slides while Sophie sat next to me on the bench. "Mommy," she said quietly. "Auntie Lisa said we shouldn't call her Mom. But she feels like a mom now. You're my real mom." But she's there every day. She makes breakfast and helps with homework and tucks us in at night. I squeezed her hand. "It's okay, Sophie. You can love both of us." But inside I was dying. My daughter was calling my sister Mom. That night Karen made dinner. Spaghetti with meatballs. I pushed the food around on my plate but couldn't eat. "Jenny, you need to eat something," Karen said. "I'm not hungry." "You haven't eaten in 2 days." "I'm fine." "You're not fine." Karen put down her fork. "I'm worried about you. You barely leave your room. You don't answer when people call. You need to talk to someone." "I don't want to talk. I want my life back. I want my kids. I want my husband." She reached across the table and held my hand. "Mark wasn't a good husband. He cheated on you." "No. But at least when I had him I had my family. Now I have nothing." "That's not true. You have me. You have friends who care about you." Karen was right, but it didn't help. That night I lay in bed staring at the ceiling. My phone buzzed with a text from Lisa. It was a picture of Sophie's art project. "Sophie wanted you to see this," the message said. Like she was doing me a favor. Like she wasn't the reason my life fell apart. 3 months after the divorce was final, my phone rang from a number I didn't know. "Hello. Is this Jennifer Thompson?" "Yes, who's this?" "My name is Richard Hayes. I'm a lawyer calling about your Uncle George." Uncle George. I hadn't talked to him in years. He was my dad's older brother who moved to California before I was born. "I'm very sorry to inform you that George Thompson passed away 2 weeks ago." I didn't know what else to say. We weren't close. Understand. However, Mr. Thompson left very specific instructions in his will regarding you. He wanted me to contact you personally. "What kind of instructions?" "Could we meet in person? This is something better discussed face to face. I can fly to you or you can come to my office in San Francisco." "I don't have money to fly anywhere right now." "I'll come to you then." "How about tomorrow afternoon?" The next day, a man in a nice suit knocked on Karen's door. "Ms. Thompson. I'm Richard Hayes." We shook hands and sat at Karen's kitchen table. Mr. Hayes opened his briefcase and pulled out papers. "Your Uncle George was a very successful man. He owned a technology company that he sold 5 years ago." I nodded even though I didn't know any of this. "He never married. Never had children. And he watched from a distance as your life unfolded. It's kind of strange. He wanted to help you many times," Mr. Hayes said. "But your father asked him not to interfere. However, in his final months, George decided to change his will. He left his entire estate to you." I stared at him. "What? Everything? His house, his investments, his savings. The total value is approximately $80 million. The room started spinning. $80 million. That's impossible. Mr. Hayes showed me papers with numbers and signatures. It's very possible. And very real. George wanted you to have everything. He left a letter explaining why. He handed me an envelope with my name written in shaky handwriting. "Dear Jennifer, if you're reading this, I'm gone. I know we didn't talk much over the years. Your father and I had problems that kept us apart. But I always kept track of you from far away. I knew when you graduated high school. When you got married. When you had Sophie and Jake. I knew when your life fell apart too. When your sister and your husband betrayed you. I wanted to fly out and help. But I was already very sick. So instead I'm giving you this money. Not because you need it but because you deserve it. Use it to build a better life. Get your children back. Show everyone who doubted you that you're stronger than they thought. Don't let anyone make you feel bad about this gift. You've earned it through everything you survived. Love, Uncle George. I read the letter 3 times. Karen read it over my shoulder. Jenny, this is incredible. Mr. Hayes pulled out more papers. There are some legal things we need to handle. The house in San Francisco needs to be sold or you can move there. The investment accounts need to be transferred to your name. And there's a trust set up for Sophie and Jake's education. What do I need to do? Just sign these papers. Everything else I'll handle. My hand was shaking as I signed my name over and over. When is the money available? The accounts will be accessible within 2 weeks. The house sale will take longer but you'll have access to liquid assets almost immediately. I looked at Karen. We need to call a lawyer. Not just any lawyer, Karen said with a big smile. The best lawyer in the city. 2 weeks later, I walked into the fanciest law office in town. My new lawyer was a woman named Patricia Mills. She'd won every custody case she'd ever handled. Ms. Thompson, Patricia said, shaking my hand. I've reviewed your case. We have excellent grounds for an appeal. The original custody decision was based on your financial situation. Now that's completely changed. Can we get my kids back? We can certainly try. I'll need you to find a stable home first. Show the judge you have a permanent residence. I'm buying a house this week. Already found one near their school. Patricia smiled. Perfect. We'll file the appeal immediately. Then we'll gather evidence showing you're the better parent. What about Lisa? What about her? She's pregnant with Mark's baby. The judge might think it's better for Sophie and Jake to live with their new sibling. Patricia leaned forward. Jennifer, let me be very clear. Your sister stole your husband. She interfered with your job. She manipulated your children. No judge will reward that behavior once they hear the full story. The next day I went house shopping. The real estate agent showed me 15 different houses. The last one was perfect. 4 bedrooms, big backyard near Sophie's school. I'll take it, I said. Don't you want to think about it? Well, I want to make an offer right now. Full asking price, cash. The agent's eyes went wide. Cash. How soon can we close? If everything goes smoothly. 2 weeks. Perfect. That night I called my kids. Mark answered the phone. This is Jennifer. I'd like to talk to Sophie and Jake. They're eating dinner right now. Can they call me back after? It'll just take a minute. Mark sighed loudly. Hold on. I heard him call for Sophie. There was laughing in the background. Lisa's voice saying something about dessert. Then Sophie's little voice. Mommy. Hi baby. Have some exciting news. I bought a house. A big house with a yard. Has a swing set and everything. That's cool. Her voice sounded far away. Are you okay, Sophie? I'm okay. Lisa made my favorite dinner tonight. Chicken nuggets shaped like dinosaurs. My chest hurt. That used to be my special dinner. I used to make dinosaur chicken nuggets for Sophie every Friday night. Well, I said, trying to sound happy. I'm glad you're having fun. But I can't wait to show you the new house on Wednesday. Mommy, Lisa said we might go to the zoo on Wednesday. Can we skip our visit time? The words felt like a punch. Baby, I only get to see you twice a week. I really want to spend time with you. Sophie was quiet. Then I heard Lisa's voice in the background saying something. Okay, Mommy, Sophie said. I'll see you Wednesday. I love you, Sophie Bear. Love you too. She hung up fast. I sat holding the phone for a long time. Mark was letting Lisa take my place. Slowly, carefully, like they planned it. But not for much longer. The house closed in 10 days. I hired movers to bring furniture. Bought new beds for Sophie and Jake. Painted Sophie's room her favorite color, purple. Put glow-in-the-dark stars on Jake's ceiling just like he always wanted. Karen helped me unpack boxes. This place is amazing, Jenny. You really did it. I couldn't have survived without you, I told her. You let me stay in your spare room for months. Karen hugged me. That's what friends do. The doorbell rang. It was a delivery man with a huge package. I signed for it and opened the box. Inside was a beautiful wooden sign that said, Thompson Family Home. I hung it above the front door. This was my fresh start. My new beginning. That night I took pictures of every room and sent them to Patricia Mills. She replied immediately. Perfect. File the custody appeal tomorrow. The custody hearing was scheduled for 3 weeks later. In that time I did everything right. Got a job as a manager at a tech company making twice what I made before. Set up Sophie's and Jake's rooms exactly how they liked. Enrolled them in activities near my new house. Made sure everyone could see I was stable and ready. Mark's lawyer tried to argue that moving the kids would be too disruptive. But Patricia was better. Your Honor, she said, standing up. Ms. Thompson's previous financial struggles were the only reason she lost custody. Now she has a beautiful home, an excellent job, and the ability to provide everything these children need. Mark's lawyer stood up. But the children are settled and happy with their father and Ms. Lisa Thompson. They've adjusted to their new family situation. Patricia smiled. The children are calling their aunt Mom, and being alienated from their actual mother. That's not adjustment. That's parental alienation. The judge looked at me. Ms. Thompson, why should I change my previous ruling? I stood up slowly. Your Honor, I'm not perfect. But I'm their mother. I gave birth to them. I stayed up all night when they were sick. I taught Sophie to read and Jake to tie his shoes. My sister didn't do any of that. She swooped in when my life was falling apart and took everything from me. Patricia touched my arm, warning me to stop. But I kept going. My husband cheated on me with my own sister. She got me fired from my job. She turned my family against me. And now she's trying to steal my children. I won't let that happen. The judge was quiet for a long time. Then she looked at Mark. Mr. Thompson, did you have an affair with your wife's sister while you were still married? Mark's lawyer whispered something to him. He nodded. Yes, Your Honor. And Ms. Lisa Thompson helped interfere with Ms. Jennifer Thompson's employment. We don't know that for certain, the lawyer said quickly. The judge held up her hand. I'm ordering a full investigation into the circumstances of this divorce and custody arrangement, the judge said. In the meantime, I'm granting temporary shared custody. 1 week with mother, 1 week with father. We'll reconvene in 60 days to make a final decision. She hit her gavel. Court dismissed. I wanted to jump and scream with happiness. Patricia hugged me. This is very good news, Jennifer. Very good. Mark looked angry. His lawyer was talking fast, trying to explain something. Lisa wasn't even there. She'd stayed home because she was feeling sick from the pregnancy. Inside, I called Sophie right away. Baby, guess what? You're going to stay with me for a whole week. Really? Starting this Friday. I'm going to pick you up from school and we'll go to our new house. Our house. It's your house too, Sophie. You and Jake both have your own rooms. I can't wait to show you. Can we bring Mr. Whiskers? Your stuffed cat. Course. Bring whatever you want. This is your home now too. That Friday, I arrived at Sophie's school early. I waited by the fence where all the parents stand. When the bell rang, kids came running out like a flood. Then I saw her. Sophie with her purple backpack and messy ponytail. She saw me and her whole face lit up. Mummy. She ran so fast she almost tripped. I caught her in a big hug and spun her around. I missed you so much, baby. I missed you too. Where's Jake? He's at preschool. We'll pick him up next. Sophie held my hand as we walked to the car. She talked non-stop about school and her friends and a boy named Tyler who ate glue. When we picked up Jake, he was just as excited. New house. New house. He chanted in his car seat. The drive took 15 minutes. When we pulled into the driveway, both kids pressed their faces against the windows. Oh, Sophie breathed. This is ours. All ours, I said. Come see your rooms. Sophie ran upstairs and screamed when she saw her purple room. Jake jumped on his new bed over and over until I told him to stop. That whole week was magical. We made pancakes for breakfast. Did homework at the kitchen table. played in the backyard until dark. I tucked them in every night and read bedtime stories. This felt like home. Real home. Not like Mark and Lisa's house where everything was temporary. On Sunday night, Mark came to pick them up. He stood at my front door looking uncomfortable. "Nice place," he said. "Thanks." I didn't invite him inside. Sophie and Jake came running with their backpacks. "Bye, Mommy. See you next week." They hugged me tight. Mark started to say something but stopped. Then he loaded the kids in his car and drove away. I watched until the car disappeared. 1 week down. Just had to keep proving I was the better choice. The 60 days passed slowly. Every week with the kids was perfect. Every week without them felt like forever. Patricia kept gathering evidence. She interviewed Sophie's teacher, who said Sophie seemed happier lately. She got records from my old job showing the complaints against me were filed from Lisa's email address. She even found security camera footage of Lisa in my office building the day before I got fired. "This is gold," Patricia said. "Absolute gold." Finally, the day came for the final custody hearing. The courtroom was packed. My whole family was there. Mom looked nervous. Dad wouldn't make eye contact. Tom sat in the back row. And Lisa sat right behind Mark with her big pregnant belly. The judge entered and everyone stood. "This is the final custody hearing for Thompson versus Thompson," she announced. "I've reviewed all the evidence. I've read the reports. And I've made my decision." My heart was beating so loud I could hear it in my ears. "Primary custody is granted to Ms. Jennifer Thompson," the judge said. Gasp. Patricia squeezed my hand. "The children will reside primarily with their mother. Mr. Thompson will have visitation every other weekend and 1 evening per week. Furthermore, I'm ordering that Ms. Lisa Thompson have no unsupervised contact with the minor children for a period of 1 year given her interference in the previous custody arrangement." Mark jumped up. "Your Honor, that's not fair." The judge stared at him. "Mr. Thompson, you engaged in an extramarital affair with your wife's sister, then allowed that same woman to replace the children's mother. You're lucky I'm granting you any custody at all." Court dismissed. The gavel came down. I started crying. Happy tears this time. Patricia hugged me. "We did it, Jennifer. We actually did it. Sophie and Jake would come home with me. For real. Forever." Outside the courthouse, Lisa tried to approach me. "Jennifer, please. We need to talk about this. Stay away from me." But the judge said I can't see Sophie and Jake. "That's your consequence, Lisa. You took everything from me. Now you lose something too." She put her hand on her belly. "What about when the baby comes? Sophie and Jake are going to have a little brother or sister. They can meet the baby when you're allowed to see them. Not before." Mark walked over. "This is ridiculous, Jennifer. You're keeping the kids from their family out of spite. I'm protecting my children from people who manipulated and lied to them. There's a difference." I walked to my car. Mom called after me. "Jennifer, wait. We should talk about this." "There's nothing to talk about, Mom. You chose Lisa over me. You all did. Now deal with it." I drove straight to Mark's house. Lisa had given me a key months ago when she was pretending to be a helpful sister. I let myself in and went to Sophie's and Jake's rooms. I packed all their toys, all their clothes, all their important things. Filled my car completely. When I got home, Sophie and Jake were waiting on the porch with their social worker. "Mummy." They ran to me. "We heard we get to live with you forever." I knelt down and hugged them both. "Forever and ever." "Is it true Auntie Lisa can't see us?" Jake asked. He looked confused. "For a little while, baby. She made some bad choices and needs time to think about them. But we can still see Daddy, right?" Sophie asked. "Course. Every other weekend. He's still your dad." That seemed to make them feel better. We went inside and I showed them where I'd set up all their toys. The social worker looked around, made notes, then smiled. "This is a good home, Ms. Thompson. Those children are lucky to have you." After she left, we ordered pizza and watched movies. Sophie fell asleep on the couch. Jake curled up next to her. I covered them both with blankets and just watched them sleep. My babies. Finally back where they belonged. Life got better after that. Slowly but surely. I got promoted at work. Sophie made the honor roll at school. Jake learned to read. Every morning I made them breakfast. Every night I tucked them in. We were a real family again. Mark kept asking if Lisa could visit the kids. I said no every time. The judge said 1 year and I meant to follow that rule. 6 months later, Lisa had her baby. A little boy named Michael. Mark sent me pictures. He's beautiful, I texted back. But Sophie and Jake still can't visit. Mark called me angry. You're being cruel, Jennifer. They're his siblings. And Lisa is their aunt who tried to replace me. The answer is still no. He hung up on me. Mom called next. Jennifer, this has gone on long enough. The baby is innocent in all this. You're right. The baby is innocent. So are Sophie and Jake. I'm protecting them. From what? From their aunt. She's family. She stopped being family when she decided my husband was more important than her sister. 1 year after the final custody hearing, the court order expired. Lisa was legally allowed to see Sophie and Jake again. Mark brought them all to my house one Saturday. Lisa stood on my porch holding baby Michael. She looked tired and older somehow. Jennifer, she said quietly, can we please talk? I let them all inside. Sophie and Jake were curious about the baby. He's so tiny, Sophie said. Can I hold him? Lisa showed her how to support his head. Jake just stared with big eyes. He's wrinkly, Jake said. Everyone laughed. Even me. After a while, Mark took the kids to the backyard to play. Lisa and I sat at my kitchen table with Michael sleeping between us. I'm sorry, she said. For everything. I know sorry doesn't fix it. But I need you to know I regret what I did. I looked at her. My sister who I used to share everything with. Do you love him? Mark. She nodded. Do. And he loves me. We're getting married next month. I took a deep breath. I can't forgive you, Lisa. Not yet. Maybe not ever. But I don't want to hate you anymore. It's too heavy to carry around. She started crying. Understand. Can we try to be sisters again? Someday. Maybe someday. But right now we're just two people who share a family. That's all I can give you. Lisa wiped her eyes. That's more than I deserve. She stood up carefully, holding Michael. Thank you for letting me see Sophie and Jake. They really are amazing kids. You know, I raised them. She smiled sadly and walked toward the door. Mark was already loading the kids in the car. I stood on my porch watching them leave. Sophie waved from the window. I waved back. Life wasn't perfect. My sister still had my ex-husband. They still had a baby together. But I had my children back. I had my beautiful house. I had $80 million and a successful career. Most importantly, I had myself back. The woman who survived betrayal and came out stronger. If you made it this far, thank you for watching my story. Drop a comment below telling me what you would have done. And subscribe to Women's Revenge for more stories about fighting back and winning. Because sometimes the best revenge really is living well.